Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something it's really important for anyone who loves their bird. We're diving into how we can give our feathered friends the absolute best care as they get into their golden years. It's such a special bond we have with them, right? But just like us, as they get older, what they need from us changes a lot. And here's the thing you have to remember. Birds are absolute pros at hiding when they're sick. It's an old survival instinct. That means we have to be their detectives. Our eyes are their best defense. And wow, this quote from Bird Vet Melbourne really just hits home, doesn't it? It's a pretty serious reminder that being proactive isn't just a nice idea, it's absolutely critical. If we wait until the signs are super obvious, we might be dealing with a problem that's already become very serious. So that leads to a really important question. What does senior or geriatric even mean for a bird? Well, it's not as simple as you might think. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all thing, because when a bird is considered old really depends on the species. Just take a look at this. It's kind of wild how much this timeline can vary. A little Budgie is considered a senior citizen at just over 6 years old. What a blue and gold macaw, they don't even hit that milestone until they're over 30. This chart is a great starting point, a benchmark to help you figure out when it's time to start thinking about a senior care plan for your bird. All right, so once your bird gets into that senior phase, what are we even looking for? The changes can be super subtle, both in how they act and how they look. It's really all about learning to read those tiny clues they give us. Their behavior is a huge one. Your older bird might start to get a little bit crankier, less patient with things that never bothered them before. Or they could go in the complete opposite direction and just become extra mellow, sleeping a lot more. The real takeaway here isn't one specific trait, but any big shift from what's normal for your bird. And then there are the physical things. You might notice their feathers just don't have that same shine, or they might be looking a bit thin. You'll want to take a close look at their feet. Do they seem more scaly or dry? Sometimes the pads on the bottom of their feet get thinner. And for birds like macaws that have those bare patches of skin on their face, you might even spot some wrinkles or age spots. And of course, any big swing in their weight, up or down, is something you need to pay attention to. And here is a perfect visual of one of the most common signs, changes to their vision. You can see that cloudy look in this Amazon's eye. That's a classic sign of cataracts. Vision loss can really affect their confidence and how they get around their cage, so it's a big deal. Okay, so these little clues we just talked about, they're often the very first hint that there's an underlying medical issue going on, something that's more common in older birds. So let's walk through 6 of the most common ailments you should know about. First on the list is arthritis. Yep, just like people and other pets, birds get it too. It's that painful inflammation in their joints. You might notice they're hesitant to fly or climb, maybe they start favoring one leg, or you might even see them lose their balance and fall off a perch. Next is atherosclerosis. The easiest way to think about this is like their arteries are getting clogged up. It's especially common in parrots like African greys and Amazons. The scary part is that the symptoms can seem to come out of nowhere: weakness, trouble breathing, or even something as serious as seizures. Remember that cloudy eye we saw a second ago? Well, that's this: cataracts. It makes the lens of their eye cloudy, which can lead to blurry vision or even complete blindness. If you notice a white or grayish tint to their pupil, or if they suddenly seem clumsy and are bumping into things, this could be what's going on. Liver disease, so often, this one comes back to diet, especially if they've been on a high-fat, seed-heavy diet for many years. The signs here are really subtle but very telling. Things like their beak growing unusually fast, their feathers looking ragged, or, you guessed it, changes in their dropping. And it's a similar story with kidney disease. It can also be tied to diet and not getting enough water over a long period. The big giveaway here: if you suddenly notice your bird is drinking a ton more water, and as a result, urinating a lot more. If you see that along with them being tired or losing weight, it's definitely time for a vet visit. And lastly, it's a tough one, but we have to talk about it. Just like with any animal, the risk of tumors and cancers goes up with age. The signs can be all over the place because a growth can pop up almost anywhere. So the main takeaway is that any new lump, any weird swelling, or steady weight loss needs to be checked out by a vet, period. All right, I know that was a lot of potentially scary stuff, but here's the good part. This is where you come in. We can be proactive about all of this. So let's talk about your senior toolkit, all the things you can do right now to support your aging bird. It really all boils down to focusing on these three key areas: getting their diet and weight right, making sure they have the right kind of exercise and enrichment, and, this is a huge one, more frequent trips to the vet. Okay, let's start with diet, because honestly, it's the foundation for everything. For a senior bird, you want something that's low fat and easy to digest. That means moving away from a diet that's mostly seeds is super important. Instead, you want to focus on high-quality pellets and fresh antioxidant-rich foods like veggies. And things with omega-3s, like a little flaxseed, can be great for reducing inflammation. And you can't forget about exercise. But, we have to adapt it for them. We're not talking about making them do intense flight laps around the room. It's more about gentle activity, like encouraging them to climb or walk around. Even simple things like step-up exercises on your hand can make a world of difference for their joints and weight. And this right here, this might be the single most important change you make. That regular annual checkup, it's probably not enough anymore. For senior birds, you really want to start thinking about semi-annual visits, so every 6 months. Why? Because like we've been saying, catching things early is absolutely everything. Now let's talk about their actual living space. You can make some really simple tweaks to their home that can have a massive, massive impact on their day-to-day comfort. Think of it like senior-proofing their cage. Are their perches comfy for old, possibly arthritic feet? Maybe swap those hard dowel perches for wider, multi-textured, or even padded ones. Add little ramps to help them get from point A to point B. Move their food and water bowls down low so they're super easy to get to. And if their vision is going, it is so important to keep the layout of the cage exactly the same so they don't get confused. Oh, and a little extra warmth from something like a heated perch can feel amazing on sore joints. And please, don't forget about their minds. It's not just about their bodies. Their brains need to stay active too. Simple foraging chores, things that make them work just a little bit for their food, are fantastic for keeping their minds sharp. It gives them a job to do and fights off boredom. And that's just as important for a senior as it is for a young bird. So we've covered a lot today, from spotting the signs of aging to making a real proactive care plan. I just want to leave you with this one question to think about. As you look at your bird, what's one small thing, just one little change you can make today that will make their golden years even better? Thanks so much for watching.